Introducing first out of the blue corner, training out of Camp Springs, Maryland, representing Team Lloyd Irvin, Elijah Dorsey!
Looking to get the third place bronze medal finish. Elijah Dorsey, representing Team Lloyd Irvin, makes his return to the mats.
Elijah Dorsey, a late addition to this Grand Prix, lost to Jonathan Alves in his first match, but I'm sure he was wanting this match against Carlos Henrique anyway. Carlos beat him at Worlds at Brown Belt back in 2022.
And his opponent, out of the white corner, training out of Houston, Texas, and representing Dream Art, Carlos Henrique!
Carlos Henrique, representing Cicero Costa, had an interesting match earlier on, makes his way, as you said, a rematch from the brown belt days against Elijah Dorsey, looking to get the third place finish here at the IBJJF Flow Grappling Grand Prix.
Ricardo, I was really impressed by Carlos's guard against Andy Murasaki in the first half of that match. Showed some incredible flexibility, incredible mobility, and real resilience against a strong guard passer.
Absolutely, and a lot of very unorthodox leg attacks, or like just gripping of the legs, and just a lot of just unorthodox guard movements. So very interested to see what he could do against somebody like Elijah. Elijah's so fast, though. Look at that. And as I say, talking about the leg entanglements, Carlos Henrique immediately locks up the leg there, trying to work. I can't tell if he's actually like trying to hit a submission or just trying to tangle so he can get to the top, using that underhook on the leg. Elijah doing a great job of scrambling now into the 50-50. Probably the first time we've seen it the whole night.
Yeah, and Elijah's got just such cat-like hips, right?
Absolutely.
He does not get knocked to his back. He really floats up there, and that makes his passing really, I think I've used this word about his passing before, but fearless. He just throws himself in there knowing he's going to land on his feet.
We've seen about 25 transitions in the last 10 seconds by both these competitors. Elijah now on top. Doing a great job getting the pass attempt there.
Big back step. He's nearly past the hips. He's got to hold Carlos down. Carlos, you know, not very easy to hold down, but smart to use that reverse guard, or that, yeah, I guess you call that a reverse guard, to neutralize Elijah's passing attempt, which looked really solid.
Yeah, like I said, we see a lot of leg placement, very unorthodox leg placement by Carlos Henrique. Very interesting to see how that kind of plays out against Elijah Dorsey.
Elijah did, by the way, pick up an advantage for that near pass. Carlos has to be careful here not to open his legs and give away that 3 points, but instead looking to invert and set up a more traditional guard.
Yeah, it feels like it's very hard to kind of put the staple in the pass on Carlos Henrique. I know earlier on his opponent had many difficulties finalizing that pass, so Elijah really has to be tight here.
Now, a note that Elijah can take from Andy Murasaki's match against Carlos is, even if Carlos does not give up the pass, he might get a little too overzealous about giving up the back to stave off the pass.
7 minutes, 30 seconds left. Elijah Dorsey actually has one advantage against Carlos Henrique. Very unorthodox, just even guard position that Carlos is playing. It's just, like, check out the grip. It's just very, very different.
We've talked a lot about the return of old school jiu-jitsu, but of course, the new innovations of jiu-jitsu are still creeping up, and that happens maybe most visibly in this rookie generation of black belts. I'm curious if Elijah, who has the position for this, is going to backstep that left leg into that hip wedge position and try and expose Carlos' back.
Yeah, it might be a bit tough. Carlos has got those pants shut down, locked down. And again, we didn't really see too much 50-50 this entire event. And we're seeing a little bit of the leg entanglement there. I think everyone tonight's been really cautious of those anti-stalling rules that the IBJJF have implemented for this event.
And even still, this may look like 50-50. It is a 50-50 position, but it's a much more offensive 50-50 position than the one that tends to receive criticism for its slow pace. And right.
Yeah. Carlos really trying to get that momentum to get the sweep, using his right foot on top to push Elijah away to make distance. Probably going to retract his leg. And
Elijah back into the hip wedge, looks to backstep for it for a moment, and ends up almost in a bear trap for it.
Just a lot of unorthodox movement by Elijah, and Carlos Henrique's guard is just super interesting.
This has been Carlos' best sweeping attempt of the match so far. Elijah scrambling, trying to get back to his feet, exposes his back in doing so. Carlos goes chasing. He does take the sweep points before Elijah returns to his feet. That's the benefit of pouring on the pressure even when you can't complete the first sweep. Is your opponent gives you their back, you can't secure the back, they end up giving you the sweep anyway.
Have a belt tying for the next few seconds, but we're seeing glimpses of speed and athleticism of both of these competitors. It's just very interesting to see.
Halfway through the match, Carlos Henrique now up 2-0 to Elijah's single advantage. And we're back to a neutral position.
Carlos Henrique looking for that double collar, or look for the grips there on Elijah Dorsey. Pulling immediately, opts for the close guard.
And Carlos now using that close guard. Looks like he's got those two collar grips as a way of stretching Elijah out, slowing him down a little bit, because when Elijah has been bunched up, he's been very agile so far.
Elijah now using that left knee in between, trying to pry the legs open. Henrique using that for an offensive movement. There it is again. Like Henrique's game is just very interesting. Just keeps going for like these very unorthodox angles. Elijah just doing a great job of passing now, putting on the pressure.
And like we saw with in the match between Carlos and Andy, so many times nearly passed, and Carlos just finds a way to squirm out, essentially unscathed. But now
this time,
Elijah big and heavy with that far side underhook, the near side crossface. He takes 3 and he puts himself ahead on the scoreboard.
I think Elijah has just been learning what, maybe from past competitions, but didn't fully try to go to the back as Carlos turtled. Instead, just sort of brought his hips back down and, flattened him out, got the passing points, did the right thing there. Beautiful strategy by Elijah.
And in fact, Elijah just added to the scoreboard with a knee on belly.
5-2 for Elijah Dorsey with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in this match.
Carlos has played a really calm guard game so far. Let's see if he expedites here a little bit, if he tries to up the intensity. And I'm curious to see what that would look like.
Feels like it's going to be unorthodox sweeps. That's sort of his thing, just very intricate. And Elijah goes to the back again. But Carlos doing a great job of recovering, and Elijah again, once again, trying to get to the back. Forces him to turtle.
And this is the trouble with having such a stubborn guard, of course, right? Showing your back that much is eventually you're slow from turning your back so often, and your opponent starts to catch your timing, and then you end up in this less than ideal situation where your back is exposed and you have a hungry guard passing athlete looking to catch it.
Elijah progressing to the back here, body triangle. Just continuing to put the pressure, staying tight now.
No points on the board yet for that back take as the body triangle is still in play.
body triangle usually signifies the beginning of the end, especially with a couple minutes left, because if they can get out of the body triangle, usually it's the hooks, and you know, a lot of times the opponent who has the body triangle will attack with a choke, may end up slipping off or getting the submission in most cases. So it's not a great position to be in, especially in the closing minutes.
Now, there is an interesting nuance in the IBJJF rule set about body triangle, however, where if you have the hooks and you're on the back, you can hold that position indefinitely. But if you have a body triangle, you're considered stalling unless you're also hand fighting, looking to finish. All that to say, Elijah is attacking with his hands, and he had better continue to do so or relinquish that body triangle.
Yeah, he's got a minute and a half left on the back. He's on the attack. Yeah, the triangle is off. He's got full hooks now. He's probably going to get another 4
Pick up his
points.
4 points.
And now going for the choke there. He's got the gi wrapped around the neck. But Henrique does a good job of escaping. Again, once you come out of that body triangle, you know, half the times the person ends up slipping off.
And he only earns an advantage for that back control, for that several minutes of back control. Now on the upside, he did wear down the clock a little bit. He has a significant lead over Carlos Henrique here. And Carlos Henrique, with less than a minute to go, is looking to turn up the lateral pace. But Elijah's grips right now very much looking to secure, to seal the deal. Wow, Carlos, last minute puts on a flurry that the omoplata saved, with the omoplata position, saved Elijah, who's looking to wrestle up.
25 seconds left. Elijah is able to take Carlos back to the mat.
Just bullied him over.
Yeah. Man, Elijah's speed is so impressive. Carlos with the crazy escape there. Look, oh, and spins right to the opposite side. Goes to the armbar. Is Carlos Henrique. He's got the arm tangled. 3 seconds left, but he's off on an angle.
Wow, insane end to this match. Elijah Dorsey's gonna walk away with it with a 3-point lead, but that was a lot closer than I think he would have hoped for at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just the movement of Carlos Henrique in the closing seconds, switching to the opposite side, attacked the arm, but the angle was just off and the arm was twisted in the wrong angle. Just wasn't able to do it. But just an amazing job by both competitors. Elijah Dorsey, very, very impressive in this match. Carlos Henrique, super unorthodox guard play, had tons of counters. Saw that crazy hop over counter towards the end there too. So just another great match to this event here tonight in Austin.
And Elijah Dorsey looks at the crowd in Austin and says, I think I deserve a round of applause.
He sure did.
Your winner, via points, Elijah Dorsey!
Elijah Dorsey is victorious.